I wouldn't say it was very successful. I worked very hard to become successful, but I was more jazz-oriented at that time, you know. And that was not a popular, maybe, I mean, nothing that you climb the charts with. I would say it was not until I met Benny and we started to go together, and I recorded some of his material that I got a list, got on the top, or to the top on the charts. But compared to nowadays, when young people, they can just go into a TV studio and all these competitions going on everywhere, and become star overnight. It was not like that when I was young. I mean, I started very young. I was my first performance, I was only 11 years old, and started singing with a dance band when I was 13, and had to work very hard, you know. And the moment when I was invited to perform in a TV show, a Swedish TV show, when it still was black and white, I was the happiest young woman there was. But it took me like 10 years to work me through to that position. And after that, it started to go fairly well. Of course, I had a lot to do. I worked a lot. But compared to Hep Stars, maybe, and Hootenanny Singers and so forth, it was not the same. I was not in the same league, so to speak, at that time. Oh, we met on tour. I think Benny and Björn, they were in Malmö to actually write a song for the Swedish Eurovision Song Contest, or the Swedish Song Contest, for a guy called Lasse Berghagen. And, you know, it was an after party somewhere, and there we met and had a good time together. And then we met again in Stockholm, and that was the start of Benny's and my relationship. It was not a lot that I didn't like. Maybe it was the loneliness, being in a very famous group like that. You know, when we toured, for example, we could never go outside the hotels. We could never enjoy actually places where we went to. We had to stay locked in at the hotels, and it was a kind of secluded, very strange life in a way. So the only time you actually came alive again was in the evenings when we had our concerts. But everything else I loved. I loved to be on stage. I loved to sing. I loved the whole atmosphere, audience, the energies, everything. Wonderful moments. We were a studio band, and I enjoyed tremendously much to be in the studio recording, working the songs out and so forth. But I love to be on stage as well. I think we were a good touring band. I mean, looking back at the old kind of concerts and shows, of course it's very different to today. But no, I enjoyed that too. Very, very much, and I think the others did as well. I mean, if you look at the footage you've checked on, you can see that there are an awful lot of energy in our performances. Or always. Of course, it had to be. I mean, and that also brought out a lot of energies that probably wouldn't have been there otherwise. But it was nothing that it was a good competition, so to speak. It was a very positive one. I mean, if two ladies are at the front of the band, of course there is a competition going on. My favorite song has always been Dancing Queen. It's a masterpiece. I must say, I think it's a masterpiece. And I remember when Benny and Björn had recorded the background in the studio. Benny came home with a tape and played it for me. I started to cry. I was so moved by it because it was so beautiful. You know, one of those songs that instantly goes straight into your heart. And Dancing Queen was one of those songs. But of course there are many others too. I mean, listening to what we've done, there are so many good songs. Because those songs which became hits, they were very, very good songs. They were kind of outstanding. But I mean, there are many other songs. I was thinking about what you said. There are many other songs that I like a lot that maybe was not on the charts, but anyway were very moving songs like The King Has Lost His Crown, for example. That's one of my favorites too. But it was never a hit. But a very good song too. I would say that some songs were very easy to record, other songs were not very easy to record because, as you said, what we did, we created them in the studio. I mean, Benny Bjorn probably, or most of the time, had something in their mind, how they wanted that specific song to sound. But I mean, adding our voices and our singing performance to it could change a lot of things around that was not planned for. I mean, we worked a lot with the backing vocals, for example. We spent a lot of time doing those and tried different ways out, you know. So a lot of things, yeah, most of the things were actually born in the studio while we were recording. It is a simplicity in the songs. You think they are so easy to sing, and as you say, once you try them out, they are not at all easy to sing. And also the range, the vocal range, are quite broad or wide. And of course the advantage there was that Agneta is a soprano and I'm a mezzo-soprano, so the blend of those two voices and the range got naturally much wider than maybe only with it would have been with only one voice singing it. I've always been very interested in fashion. As I remember, I think I was a driving force very much in that chapter. We were all interested, of course. I had a lot of ideas, and either the other liked them or not. Some were thrown away, some were accepted. Now I remember the look for those the Waterloo costumes. I think it was a little shop somewhere who was very trendy at that time. And they did those costumes for us. But later on we had our own tailor or dressmaker doing the costumes together with us. But those specific Waterloo costumes, they were the beginning of it all, so to speak.